All right, let's talk about how the Oklahoma City Thunder were able to sign Isaiah Hartenstein away from the Knicks with New York Post Knicks beat writer Stefan Bondy. Stefan, man, we're talking about a player whose value just continued to go up throughout the season. In the postseason, you reported that the Knicks gave it their best effort to re-sign him. The fan base wanted him back. So how'd OKC come in and get him?
Well, I mean, you mentioned his value was skyrocketing. He became, by the time free agency started, the top center free agent on the market after Nick Claxton signed his 4-year, $100 million deal with the Brooklyn Nets. And, you know, OKC had the cap space to do this. They were, you know, as I reported, they were always the biggest threat to pry him away from New York. And they came in, they met with him on the first day of free agency, making him a priority, and then offered him basically a deal he couldn't refuse. 3 years, $87 million. You know, from what I'm told, the last year is not guaranteed, though. So this is the balloon offer that I've been reporting on for a while and speculating on for a while. And it was able to get it done. Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be tough to replace for the Knicks. They gave it their best effort. As you mentioned, they offered him the most they could at 4 years, $72.5 million from the moment they could, which was after the NBA Finals. And that offer stayed on the table until Isaiah Hartenstein decided to go to Oklahoma City.
Did he want to return to New York? Because like we say in professional sports, all money ain't New York money. So was it just something, like you said, a deal that he just couldn't refuse for he and his family?
Yeah, I mean, he had a great relationship with his teammates. He had tremendous time while he was in New York. He absolutely wanted to return, and this was a very tough decision for Isaiah Hartenstein. He said it from every time we asked him during the season about this, he expressed his desire to come back. So, yeah, he wanted to come back. The money was too much. I mean, there are other factors besides that. I mean, you look at the location that he's going. OKC is a legit title contender. And you can ask whether he'll have a starting role. We don't know that yet because they do have Chet Holmgren at the 5, but Sam Presti is not going to be paying this kind of money for a player who's not going to play. He's going to have an important role in the OKC Thunder, who, like I said, are a legit title contender.
All right, so let's look ahead a little bit. Where's this going to leave the Knicks? We saw how Paul George just signed with the 76ers. Tyrese Maxey re-signed with them. They look like they have their big three in place. So do you think that the Knicks and the Knicks fans are okay with Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims as their centers?
Yeah, I mean, those are what they have right now, and it's not, the options are now limited. I mean, you look across the board in free agency, and there's not that center that jumps out at you and says, all right, well, this is the guy we got to go get. Mitchell Robinson, people forget he was on an all-defense trajectory at the beginning of last season. He showed that he can be the top offensive rebounder in the NBA when he's healthy. Of course, the big question is whether he's going to be healthy, because that has been his number one drawback for certainly the last few seasons, and he's coming off his second ankle surgery. So, yeah, I mean, the Knicks have the option there. They just need the health in terms of Mitchell Robinson. They have Jericho Sims. They have an option to re-sign Precious Achiuwa because they still have his bird rights. They can exceed the cap to get him. Other than that, if they stay below the second apron, they still have access to the non-taxpayer mid-level exception, which is $5 million, which, in today's NBA doesn't get you much, but it'll still get you a good backup center. That's basically what Andre Drummond signed with for. And, after that, you were talking about veteran minimums. You mentioned Jericho Sims. He started a bunch of games for the Knicks the last 2 seasons. He's athletic and he has upside, certainly as a defender and somebody who can catch lobs and dunk the ball a lot. So, listen, they have options. I don't think it's the complete end of the world, but you remember this. Isaiah Hartenstein was a huge part of what they did last season. He was a huge part of what they did in the playoffs. He was part of that death lineup in January that when you project to this season, you say, all right, well, this is what we saw in January. This is what this team can be when we bring back OG Anunoby healthy. And Hartenstein was penciled in there at center. He's no longer going to be there, so that's a big blow.
Well, your word has been bond, Bondy, with all the Isaiah Hartenstein.
I like that.
Yeah, you can take that one. That's free of charge right there. That's not going to cost you 3 years, 87 mil at all. But great job on the reports, man. Great job. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you. Appreciate it.